I just got this new Patrick Ta blush in and I've been dying to get it on my face, so let's get to it. I'm gonna use the Makeup Forever HD Skin Hydra Glow. This is the shade 2N22. I honestly don't know why I haven't worn makeup in so long. I think I was just focusing on getting my skin under control because I had an allergic reaction and my skin was not happy. Last time I used this foundation, I really liked it, so I want to give it a try again and see if I still feel the same way. This is also my first time doing my makeup since starting Arazlo, and if you use Tret, you'll know that wearing makeup can be tricky because dealing with flakies or sometimes your makeup just doesn't sit right, so I'm curious to see if I notice any difference. This is a very glowy, very hydrating foundation, and even though I just put it on and it's still wet, some foundations do start to self-set a little bit or they'll dry down and you lose a little bit of the glowiness, but this, it's glowing. Rare Beauty bronzer stick in Always Sunny. This is my go-to. I literally always use it. It's the perfect undertone. I don't like to contour or do whatever with cool tone shades because it just doesn't look right on me. I am going to use the same sponge to blend that out. I like using the same thing to blend out my bronzer. I feel like it provides a more seamless finish. It just kind of marries the two products together. I swear this is the key to not having this bronzer stick be patchy because I've heard so many people say that they have a hard time with it. Just use the same thing to blend it out. To blend out my nose, I'm just going to use the Patrick Ta nose brush. I love this brush. I actually love Patrick Ta brushes. I really want the blush one, but that has been sold out for literally ever. I keep checking the Sephora app and it just doesn't come back. Hopefully it's not discontinued. For blush, I'm gonna use the new Patrick Ta blush in the shade, I think it's called Not Too Much. It's just so pretty, nice, neutral. I know Patrick does cream over powder, but I still like to go in with a cream layer first, just to lay a bit of a foundation for the powder on top. Look how pretty that is. I was a bit worried that this shade would be too light and that it wouldn't show up as strong as I like my blush to show up, but that looks perfect. I go right under my under eye area and then I put concealer on top. It's gonna blend it together. And the blush shade also kind of works as a bit of a color corrector on the under eye area, so two birds, one stone. Now that I think about it, I don't like that saying. Why do we have to do anything to the birds? Hourglass concealer in the shade Sepia. Trying to use less concealer because sometimes I go overboard. It's hard to do less. I like to let my under eye sit, so I'll blend out the rest of the concealer first. I do the nose with my finger. I find it easier to keep the placement more precise with my finger, just tapping it in. When you're blending out your concealer, you want to tap it where it is and just move the sponge or the brush around. That's going to give you a really good blend. Still going to keep the placement where you want it. Time for the under eye now. I like to bring it down a little bit and then out towards the temples. Don't drag your sponge around your face. Don't swipe it around your face. Just tap it in and let it do the work. I'm gonna use the Huda Beauty Peach Pie powder to set my under eyes just because the blush is a little bit of a peachy kind of neutral shade. So I wanna match it. I like to set my under eyes right away because I do get a lot of creasing on my under eye. Which, by the way, there's only so much you can do about creasing. Wherever your skin has natural folds, it's gonna crease. I am a makeup artist and I make sure to tell clients that all the time. There's a few things that I have that I'm so clear with people about before I start an appointment. I can't stop creasing. I can't change your anatomy. I know a lot of people like to contour and highlight to change certain features. I am kind of against it. I like to enhance features, but if you want to change the shape of your face, or if you say something to me like, can you get rid of my double chin, or can you make my nose look tinier? I don't like doing that because I don't like encouraging negative self-talk. That might be unpopular, but I do try to find a way to make the client happy without feeding into those negative thoughts about themselves. This powder, so good. Like, look how that just smoothed everything out and just delicious. I set the rest of my face with the Charlotte Tilbury powder in shade 2. I like to use a different shade than my under eye so that there's a little bit of dimension and difference between the areas on my face. And this powder just works so well for me. I'm gonna use the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer in shade 2. I really need to look into getting a new bronzer. I was using the Patrick Ta bronzer in the shade She Sculpted, but I feel like it just doesn't show up that well on me anymore. I don't know if it's my product that the pan just hardened. It's just not working. This one's pretty nice actually. It's not too orangey. a bit neutral. I like that. Now I'm gonna go in with the powder side of the blush. I just prefer doing cream than powder. This color is so nice. I still bring it up to my under eye area. I love that. I like a lot of blush, okay? For my eyes, I'm going to use the Ethereal Eyes palette, and I'm going to use this shade here and just right into the crease. I don't want anything too heavy on the eyes. I am going to put lashes on, but I just want like a soft eyeshadow look. I take a bit of this darker shade here, just on the outer part of the crease. I have hooded eyes, so I like to place a darker shade here to build some depth in the eye crease. See the difference it makes? I'm going to take this even darker shade and place that right in the outer part too, but even smaller than that previous shade. That's really going to deepen it. I'm going to use the middle shade here, just on my finger, and I'm going to tap it into the inner part of the lid. Just right there. Putting a bit of liner on the outer corner and trying to tightline. I always have to do it like this. To fix that little bump there, I'm taking like a really small brush, just dragging it along there. It's not going to remove it completely, but it will smooth it out. This is the Rare Beauty Gel Liner in the shade True Brown. This is the Eylure Luxe Silk Royal Half Lash. This is my favorite half lash. I don't think I've ever mentioned this before, but when I put on my lashes, I like to place them a little bit more towards the center. I don't line them up all the way to the outer corner, because when I do that, they don't line up with the bottom lash line and it just looks droopy. So I put them a little bit more in. Slightly inward just works better for my eye shape, but that's going to be different for everyone. Mascara, I'm using the YSL Lash Clash. Always, that car was really loud. Always use mascara to blend your natural lashes into your fake lashes. I don't know why lately, but I kind of like not putting anything in my eyebrows. I know to most people it looks unfinished. I will put a little bit in. When I don't have my eyebrows done and the rest of my makeup's done, I feel like my eyes stand out more. You know what I mean? Let me know if you think it's crazy to not put anything in my eyebrows, because I kind of like it. I'm using the Rare Beauty Brow Harmony Brow something in the shade Warm Brown. My hair was redder before, but since I've been using shampoos and serums for my scalp to try to get it healthy, I haven't been using my color depositing masks as much because I just didn't want to irritate my scalp. So my hair has faded quite a bit. It's still reddish, but it's like a reddy brown. It's more brown than red. So a shade like this works well for me now. Just like that, still soft. Let me know what you think. I don't line the whole underside of my brow. I don't carve my brows out because I feel like that can look a little bit overwhelming on my face. If that's your preference, by all means, keep doing it. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying this is what I prefer for me. I always draw my mold back on. I'm using the Urban Decay Brow Blade in the shade Cool Cookie. Just use the felt side and then tap it so it's not too harsh. That comes from my dad. For lips, I'm gonna use Rimmel in Cappuccino. I'm addicted. I can't put her down. It's just a perfect cool tone lip liner. If you're like me and you have cool tones in your lips, like the outer corners look a little bit purple, cool tone lip liners are your best friend. Summer Fridays Lip Butter Balm in the shade or flavor, whatever you call it, Pink Sugar. Again, with like cool tone lip pencils, I really like a pink lip product. It's like the perfect match. Makeup done. Let me know if you have any questions or if you want more makeup videos. I know I kind of fell off for a little bit, but if you want them, I'll do more.